It's very important that you choose. Are you scum or a f***wit? These are all comments that were on the latest viral video of Harry Styles, where people really wanted him to pick a side on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So what stood out to me was not the moment in the video itself, it's really the way that people reacted and how emotionally charged it all was.
Correct.
Correct. Viva Viva Palestina, long live Palestine. Correct. He just says correct, responding to someone in the crowd. The comments immediately jump to, what does that mean? Is he anti-Israel? Does he even have an idea what's going on in Gaza? This can happen with any opinion or any conflict, but especially one like this, where some members of the other group actually want to harm you. And honestly, I understand why people react so defensively. Even if we're not personally involved in the conflict, it's really hard to hold on to the nuance of the realities of what happens in conflicts like these. And so we pick a side. Maybe you've been in one of those conversations where, or listening in on a conversation where you're hearing two people disagree and that person talks and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds reasonable. And then the other person gives their side. It's like, oh wait, no, that also sounds reasonable. And you get stuck in that. And it's hard because they're all conflicting ideas. And then the world's divided in half into people who are right and people who are idiots. You know, I had a moment that really stuck out in my head. I was eating at a Middle Eastern restaurant in Florida, and the waitstaff was Palestinian, and they treated me very well. And they didn't know that I was a former IDF soldier, so you know that may have changed the way they treated me, but they treated me well. And they had a donation box set up for donations to help humanitarian aid in Gaza. And to this day, I really wish I had put some money in. Part of me wanted to, and part of me really wanted to do it and tell them I was a former IDF soldier too. But at the same time, I had friends and family who were serving in Gaza, and it had just recently come out that UNRWA, the humanitarian aid arm of the UN, had staff members who were actually participating in the massacre of Israeli civilians on October 7th. So all these fears and loyalties and emotions were all spinning around in my head, and I left without doing anything. And I still wonder what moment could have been created there. I'm sure it wouldn't have magically resolved the conflict, but it would have challenged us both to expand our understanding of it. I think it's actually difficult to respect someone who disagrees with you on something fundamental. It requires a certain emotional openness that doesn't come naturally to us. But what if the real approach is not abandoning your people, not abandoning security, and not pretending like dangerous ideas don't exist, but refusing to let conflict completely eliminate your ability to recognize another person's perspective, or even aspects of it? I don't think understanding each other solves everything, but I do think something changes when we stop looking at each other as only symbols of everything we despise in the other side. And I find it interesting that conflicts like these are usually split fairly down the line, 50-50. And I really find it hard to believe that half of us are completely off base and totally missing the point. There has to be some sort of overlap of understanding or rightness between those two. And maybe moving forward begins when we start taking steps towards each other, even if we're not exactly sure where those steps lead.